Okay.
Father Carl, thank you for taking the time to update us on the situation at Albergue San Oscar Romero. Joining us are a few representatives from the St. Jude League, Kevin Goodwin and Bree Rook. And I've also invited Linda Ragusan from U.S. Catholic Magazine to join us, as U.S. Catholic has partnered with us to use their digital platforms to create awareness for your ministry. So Father Carl, can you give us an update of the activity at Albergue San Oscar Romero?
Okay. Thank you, all of you, and for all your efforts and your generosity, your dedication. San Oscar Romero, we have 43 migrants currently. Actually 38. There's a family who left yesterday morning. 38, 9 are women, 6 are men. There are 8 families, total of 23 children. They're from Guatemala, they're from Honduras, and also from internally displaced hot areas of Mexico. Currently, the border is closed. There's no active programs right now, but we are seeking legal help for their asylum. The shelter is in a transition phase. We're looking for a temporary space, possibly renting, and then a long-term space that we hope to acquire that could be a more permanent place.
Father Carl, so the 38 refugees you have in the shelter right now, a majority of them are children. So if you could you kind of walk through the typical day of schooling for children at the shelter, or do they go out of the shelter? How does that work?
They go out of the shelter. It's an organization, I forget the actual name. They actually pick up the kids at 8 in the morning, and they're in a bus and take them to class. And then they return around 1 in the afternoon. In the thick of the pandemic, before the school, we had virtual classes, and that was a challenge. We had tablets and computers that we had acquired. Right now they're in classes, and I think that's great. That really helps a great deal. A lot of the kids are babies. I mean, they're less than 5 years old. And we have a program that's connected with UNICEF that comes and gives educational classes and therapy to the moms and their children. And it's just a great thing to see.
Could you give us a little background on some of the situations that the refugees are escaping from?
Yes, from Honduras, they come from areas that are, and I think also Guatemala, they come from areas that are extreme poverty, the effects of climate change, but also the corruption and extortion and violence in regard to organized crime or gangs and that kind of thing. Some of the families were part of the Remain in Mexico, but they were not able to qualify for some reason. We're trying to seek those families that are remaining in that program to see if we can find an approach to allowing them to continue their process of asylum seeking.
Using Google Analytics, we know that our outreach has generated a strong response from our readers. They're interested in the help that the shelter is providing. Can you talk about how the donations last year were applied and how the funding is being used?
When we arrived in October, there were some migrants there. I believe there were like 9 or 10 that were in the house. We came with all the migrants from the other area that we were moving from. And so we needed more space. And part of the initial funding was to actually develop 4 new rooms in the house. So a great deal of funding went toward the renovation of the house, and also a bathroom. There was only 1 bathroom in the house, and for 40 people or more, it's very difficult. The other thing, we added a boiler that provided at least some degree of hot water in the house, as well as a dryer. So those were some of the basic costs. More recently, in terms of funding, that money is being spent on the salary for one of the coordinators. In addition, there's basic needs like health is a big challenge.
Looking forward into 2022, what are your current fundraising needs, and what right now are the most urgent priorities for this ministry?
One is in this period of transition, we're looking at the possibility of a rental space. This would be like an emergency. We're hoping to be moving by the beginning of March, and then long term, we have a possibility of a space. It's an abandoned school that we hope to acquire some remodeling that would be needed there. Those are kind of part of the emergency situation that we're looking at. And then the basic needs. Right now it's and somewhat more difficult, the challenge, because of the transition, because of what we're going through.
Well, thank you very much for this update. It really adds a lot compared to the written updates that we share with the donors and supporters of the St. Jude League. But
Right.
We're very honored to be a part of this and to be able to support this ministry and the Claretian missionaries in general.
Thank you very much. And hopefully in a month or two, we can have an update and see what, where
I
we're
look
moving.
forward to it.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. I think this is a good medium. I think this is a good way to connect with everybody.
Very
So
good.
thanks again, and thanks everybody for joining
Oh,
us.
thank you.
Thank you.
Blessings. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you,
Thank
Father
you.
Carl.
Thank you.